The money lie you've been taught. My friend, let me ask you something honest. Why do the rich keep getting richer while you're still struggling? You work hard, you pay your bills, you do everything you're supposed to do, but somehow you're still broke, still stressed, still one emergency away from financial disaster. Here's the truth nobody wants to tell you. The system isn't broken. The system is working exactly as designed, and it's designed to keep you broke. Think about it. From the day you were born, you were fed the same script. Go to school, get good grades, find a stable job, work for 40 years, retire at 65. That's the dream, right? That's what they told you success looks like. But my friend, that's not success. That's survival. That's trading your entire life for just enough money to keep you coming back. And the worst part? You were taught this by people who are broke themselves. Your parents meant well, your teachers meant well, but they taught you what they knew. And what they knew was how to be employees, how to work for money, how to trade time for dollars. They never taught you how to build wealth, because they never learned it themselves. Here's what the wealthy know that you don't. Money isn't the goal. Freedom is. The rich don't work for money. They make money work for them. While you're trading hours for dollars, they're building systems that generate wealth while they sleep. Poor people think money is everything. Rich people know money is just a tool for building, a tool for creating, a tool for buying back your time and your life. That's the fundamental difference. That's the shift that changes everything. Listen closely. The reason you're broke isn't because you don't work hard enough. It's not because you're not smart enough. It's because you've been programmed with broke thinking. You've been taught to see money through the eyes of scarcity instead of abundance. Every day you go to work, you're making someone else rich. Your boss, the company owner, the shareholders. They understand something you don't. They understand leverage. They understand systems. They understand that real wealth comes from ownership, not employment. Ask yourself honestly, where will you be in 5 years if nothing changes? Same job, same stress. Same paycheck that disappears before the month ends. Is that really the life you want? Is that really what you're working so hard for? The wealthy play a completely different game. While poor people are focused on their next paycheck, rich people are focused on their next investment. While broke people are buying liabilities that drain their wallet, wealthy people are buying assets that fill their bank account. And here's the part that might hurt to hear. Your poverty isn't accidental. It's by design. The education system didn't fail to teach you about money. It succeeded in teaching you to be a worker, a consumer, someone who earns, spends, and stays dependent. They taught you math, but not compound interest. They taught you history, but not the history of money. They taught you to follow rules, but not to create wealth. Because workers don't need to know how to build wealth. They just need to know how to show up and work. But my friend, you're here right now, reading these words. That means something inside you knows there's more. Something inside you is ready to break free from the programming. And that's where your transformation begins. The first step to wealth is recognizing the lie. The lie that a job equals security. The lie that saving pennies will make you rich. The lie that you're supposed to sacrifice your entire life for a retirement that might never come. Rich people don't retire. You know why? Because they love what they do. Because they built lives of freedom, not lives of survival. They don't wait for Friday. They don't count down to vacation. Because every day is lived on their terms. Here's the reality. You have two choices. You can keep believing the lie, keep trading your life for a paycheck, keep hoping things will magically get better, or you can wake up. You can start learning what the wealthy know. You can begin building real wealth instead of just surviving. Money mastery isn't about getting lucky. It's not about winning the lottery or getting a big inheritance. It's about understanding how money actually works. It's about shifting from employee thinking to owner thinking, from consumer mentality to investor mentality. And the beautiful truth, it's not too late. It doesn't matter how broke you are right now. It doesn't matter how many mistakes you've made. What matters is what you do next. What matters is whether you're willing to unlearn the lies and learn the truth. The rich didn't get rich by accident. They got rich because they thought differently. They acted differently. They made different choices with their money. And my friend, you can do the same. Not tomorrow, not someday, starting right now. Because here's what I know about you. If you're still reading, you're not like most people. Most people would rather stay comfortable in their ignorance. But you're hungry for truth. You're ready for change. You're ready to master money instead of being mastered by it. This is your wake-up call. The money lie ends here, today, right now. Everything you thought you knew about wealth, question it. Everything you were taught about success, challenge it. Because the life you want is on the other side of the lies you've believed. Remember this, my friend. The same system that taught you to be broke can't teach you to be rich. You need new teachers, new mentors, new knowledge. And that journey begins with one simple decision. I refuse to stay broke. Poor people work for money. Rich people make money work. My friend, let me tell you about two people. Same age, same city, same salary. $50,000 a year. One of them is broke, living paycheck to paycheck, stressed about bills. The other one, building wealth, growing richer every month, calm, confident, free. What's the difference? It's not the income. It's what they do with the income. And that difference will determine whether you stay broke or build wealth. Poor people work for money. They trade their time for dollars. 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, 40 years of their life. They think that's normal. They think that's how everyone builds wealth. But my friend, that's not building wealth. That's renting out your life. Rich people make money work for them. They understand something fundamental, something that changes everything. Time is limited, but money can multiply. Money can work 24 hours a day. Money doesn't get tired. Money doesn't need sleep. And when you make money work for you, you break free from the time for dollars trap. Think about your current situation. You wake up, you go to work. You trade 8 hours for a paycheck. Then you come home tired, too tired to build anything else, too tired to learn, too tired to grow. That's by design. The system wants you tired, because tired people don't question. Tired people don't build. Tired people just survive. But here's the truth the wealthy understand. Your time is your most valuable asset, not your money, your time. Because time is the one thing you can never get back. Every hour you trade for money is an hour you'll never see again. The rich know this. That's why they stop trading time as soon as possible. Let me explain how this works. When you work a job, you're selling your time. 1 hour equals 1 paycheck. You stop working, the money stops coming. That's active income. And active income keeps you trapped. Because you can only work so many hours. You can only earn so much. Your income has a ceiling. But passive income? That's different. Passive income means your money works while you sleep, while you're on vacation, while you're spending time with your family. The wealthy build systems, investments, businesses, assets that generate cash flow without their constant presence. That's freedom. Poor people say, I need a raise. Rich people say, I need another income stream. See the difference? One is asking for permission. The other is taking control. One is dependent. The other is independent. One is hoping someone else will solve their money problem. The other is solving it themselves. Ask yourself, how many income streams do you have right now? 1? Your job? My friend, that's not security. That's vulnerability. Because if that one stream dries up, you're drowning. The wealthy average 7 income streams, 7 ways money flows to them. That's real security. Here's what happens when you rely on a job alone. You give all your power to one source. Your boss, your company, the economy. You're at their mercy. They decide your worth. They decide your raises. They decide if you stay or go. And my friend, that's not freedom. That's dependency. But when you build multiple streams, you take back control. One stream slows down, you have 6 others. One investment doesn't perform, you have others that do. You become resilient, unshakable. That's what money mastery looks like. The broke person thinks, I can't afford to invest. The wealthy person thinks, I can't afford not to invest. One is focused on spending, the other is focused on building. And that single shift in thinking creates completely different lives. Let me break this down even simpler. Imagine you have $1,000. Poor people ask, what can I buy with this? Rich people ask, how can I multiply this? One sees money as something to spend, the other sees money as seeds to plant. Plant seeds, you get a harvest. Spend money, you get nothing. The wealthy understand the concept of leverage. They use other people's time, other people's money, other people's expertise. They build teams. They create systems. They invest in assets, and those assets work for them. That's leverage. That's how you break free from trading time for money. Listen closely. Your job will never make you rich. Your job is designed to make someone else rich. You are the asset that your employer uses to build their wealth. You're making them money. They're giving you just enough to keep you coming back. That's the game. And until you understand the game, you can't win. But here's the good news. You can change the game. You can start building your own assets, even while you still have your job, even if you're starting with very little. Because wealth isn't built in one big moment. Wealth is built in small, consistent actions over time. Start with one thing, one investment, one side business, one rental property, one dividend-paying stock, one digital asset, just one stream beyond your job. Then add another and another. Slowly, patiently, consistently. That's how the wealthy do it. That's how you do it too. Poor people want fast money. Rich people want lasting wealth. One is playing the short game, the other is playing the long game. And my friend, the long game always wins, because compound growth beats quick wins every single time. Here's your reality check. Every day you work only for a paycheck, you're falling further behind. Because the wealthy aren't working for paychecks. They're building empires. They're creating systems. They're stacking income streams. And the gap between you and them grows wider every single day you delay. But you can close that gap. Not overnight, not with some get-rich-quick scheme, but with discipline, with education, with consistent action. You start making your money work. You stop trading all your time for all your money. You begin building leverage. Think about it like this. Right now, you're a single engine. You work, you earn. You stop, you don't. But when you build passive income streams, you become a fleet of engines, each one running independently, each one generating income. That's exponential power. The choice is yours, my friend. You can keep working for money until you're too old to work, or you can start making money work for you, starting today. You can stay trapped in the active income cycle, or you can begin building passive wealth. One path leads to freedom, the other leads to exhaustion. And here's the truth. The wealthy are not special. They're not smarter than you. They're not luckier than you. They just learned something you didn't. They learned to make money work. And now you're learning it too. The question is, what will you do with this knowledge? My friend, if this is resonating with you, do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe. Because we're building a community of people who refuse to stay broke, people who are ready for financial freedom, people who understand that real wealth comes from making money work, not from working for money. And I want you to be part of this movement. Remember this always. Time is finite. Money is infinite. Stop trading the finite for the finite. Start using the finite to create the infinite. That's money mastery. That's how the rich get richer. And that's how you can join them. The scarcity trap versus the abundance mindset. My friend, I want you to imagine two people looking at the same opportunity, same business idea, same investment, same potential. One person sees it and thinks, I can't afford this. The other thinks, how can I afford this? Same opportunity, two completely different responses. And those two responses will create two completely different lives. This is the scarcity trap versus the abundance mindset. And understanding this difference is absolutely critical to your financial freedom. Because, my friend, poverty starts in the mind long before it shows up in your bank account. Poor people operate from scarcity. They believe there's not enough. Not enough money, not enough opportunities, not enough time. They see the world as a pie, and if someone else gets a slice, there's less for them. That belief system keeps them broke, forever. Rich people operate from abundance. They believe there's always more. More money to be made, more opportunities to seize, more ways to create value. They see the world as unlimited, and because they see it that way, they act that way, and their actions create wealth. Let me tell you what scarcity thinking sounds like. I can't afford it. That's too expensive. Money doesn't grow on trees. I'm not lucky like them. The rich are greedy. These phrases, they're not just words, they're prison bars. And every time you say them, you lock yourself in deeper. Now listen to abundance thinking. How can I afford it? What value can I create? Money flows to value. I can learn what they learned. Wealth is available to anyone willing to work for it. Feel the difference? One closes doors, the other opens them. The scarcity mindset is rooted in fear, fear of loss, fear of failure, fear of not having enough. And fear is the enemy of wealth. Because when you operate from fear, you make defensive decisions. You hoard. You avoid risk. You play small. And playing small keeps you small. The abundance mindset is rooted in faith. Faith in possibilities. Faith in your ability to create. Faith that the universe has enough for everyone. And when you operate from faith, you make offensive moves. You invest. You take calculated risks. You play big. And playing big creates big results. Think about your own life right now. When you see someone driving a nice car, what's your first thought? Do you think, they're so lucky? Or, what can I learn from them? Do you feel jealousy or inspiration? Your answer reveals whether you're trapped in scarcity or operating from abundance. Poor people are jealous of wealth. Rich people are inspired by wealth. Because poor people think wealth is limited. They think someone else's success diminishes their chances. But rich people know that wealth expands. They know that other people's success proves what's possible. It lights the path. Here's the brutal truth about scarcity thinking. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You believe there's not enough, so you don't try. You don't try, so you don't succeed. You don't succeed, so you confirm your belief that there's not enough. And the cycle continues, year after year, decade after decade. But abundance thinking? It creates the opposite cycle. You believe opportunities exist, so you look for them. You look for them, so you find them. You find them, so you take action. You take action, so you create results. And those results prove that abundance is real. That cycle lifts you higher and higher. Ask yourself honestly, what story are you telling yourself about money? Is it a story of lack? There's never enough? I always struggle. Money is hard to make. Or is it a story of possibility? I'm getting better with money. I'm learning to create wealth. Opportunities are everywhere. The story you tell yourself becomes your reality, not because of magic, but because your beliefs drive your actions, and your actions create your results. If you believe you'll always be broke, you'll make broke decisions. If you believe wealth is possible, you'll make wealthy decisions. It's that simple. Let me give you a real example. Two people, both have $500. Person A thinks, this is all I have. I better not lose it. So they hide it, keep it safe, don't invest, don't risk. 20 years later, they still have $500, maybe less because inflation ate its value. Person B thinks, this is seed money. How can I grow it? So they invest it, learn about it, take calculated risks, make some mistakes, learn from them. 20 years later, that 500 became 50,000, maybe more. Same starting point, completely different mindset, completely different outcome. The scarcity trap tells you to protect what you have. The abundance mindset tells you to multiply what you have. One is defensive, one is offensive. And my friend, you cannot win by only playing defense. You have to attack. You have to create. You have to build. Poor people say, I'll invest when I have more money. Rich people say, I'll have more money because I invest. See how that works? One is waiting for perfect conditions. The other is creating conditions. One is passive. One is active. And only active people build wealth. Here's what abundance thinking does for you. It opens your eyes to opportunities that scarcity thinking blinds you to. When you believe wealth is possible, you notice chances everywhere. A side business idea, an investment opportunity, a skill you could monetize. They were always there, but scarcity thinking made you blind to them. The broke person walks past opportunities every day because their mind is trained to see obstacles. That won't work. I don't have time. I don't know how. Their brain is wired for reasons why not. The wealthy person sees the same opportunities and their brain is wired for, how can I make this work? They find solutions, not excuses. And here's the beautiful truth about abundance. The more you practice it, the more real it becomes. You start small. You invest $10. It grows to 20. You invest that 20, it becomes 50. Each small win rewires your brain. Each success builds faith. And faith creates more action. More action creates more success. Listen closely, my friend. You have to train your mind for abundance the same way you'd train your body at a gym. It takes repetition. It takes practice. Every time a scarcity thought comes up, you challenge it. I can't afford this becomes, how can I afford this? That simple shift changes everything. Start paying attention to your words, your thoughts, your reactions to money. Are you speaking abundance or scarcity? Because your words have power. They shape your beliefs, and your beliefs shape your reality. If you constantly say you're broke, your mind will make sure you stay broke. It's just confirming what you told it to be true. But if you start saying, I'm building wealth, money flows to me, I create value, your mind starts looking for ways to make that true. It's not magic, it's psychology, it's neuroscience. Your brain is designed to prove your beliefs right, so give it better beliefs to prove. The wealthy know something else about abundance. They know that giving creates receiving. Poor people hoard because they're afraid of losing. Rich people give because they know abundance flows. They donate, they help others, they share knowledge, and somehow, mysteriously, more comes back to them. That's how abundance works. Scarcity says, hold tight to what you have. Abundance says, release to receive more. One creates stagnation, one creates flow, and wealth flows to those who flow, not to those who dam it up out of fear. Think about water. If you try to hold water in your closed fist, it leaks out. You lose it. But if you open your hand and let it flow, more comes. Money is the same. Hold it too tight from fear, you repel it. Hold it lightly with faith, you attract it. That's the paradox of abundance. My friend, shifting from scarcity to abundance is not optional if you want wealth. It's mandatory. Because you cannot create abundant results with a scarcity mindset. It's impossible. Your outer world will always reflect your inner world. Change the inside, the outside changes too. Here's your practice starting today. Every time you catch yourself thinking scarce thoughts, stop, breathe, reframe. I can't becomes how can I? There's not enough becomes there's always a way. That's too expensive becomes what value can I create to afford that? Train your brain for abundance. And remember this always. The universe doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to who you are. If you are scarcity, you attract scarcity. If you are abundance, you attract abundance. Want more money? Become someone who thinks abundantly, acts abundantly, believes abundantly. The money will follow. The scarcity trap is comfortable. It gives you excuses. It lets you play victim. It allows you to blame circumstances. But comfort is expensive, my friend. It costs you your dreams, your potential, your freedom. Abundance requires courage, but that courage pays dividends forever. You're not broke because there's not enough money in the world. You're broke because you haven't tapped into the abundance that's already there. And the moment you shift your mindset, the moment you start seeing possibilities instead of limitations, that's when everything changes. That's when you join the wealthy. Assets versus liabilities. What schools never teach. My friend, let me teach you the simplest wealth formula you'll ever learn. It's so simple that a child could understand it. Yet most adults get it completely wrong, and that's why they stay broke their entire lives. Here it is. Assets put money in your pocket. Liabilities take money out of your pocket. That's it. That's the whole game. The rich buy assets, the poor buy liabilities, and the middle class buy liabilities thinking they're assets. Let me give you the most controversial example. Your house. The one you're so proud of. The one you call an investment. My friend, if you live in it, it's not an asset. It's a liability. Every month it takes money from you. Mortgage, taxes, insurance, repairs, money flowing out of your pocket. But it's building equity, you say. Listen closely. Equity you can't access is not wealth. It's trapped value. And while that value sits locked in your walls, you're paying interest to the bank. You're working to pay for a house instead of making the house pay for you. Now, a rental property? That's an asset. Because every month tenants pay you. Money flows into your pocket. You own the property, but it works for you. That's the difference. Assets work for you. Liabilities work against you. Poor people buy cars, clothes, and big screen TVs. Things that lose value the moment they buy them. Things that require maintenance. Things that drain their wallet. They call this treating themselves. The wealthy call it financial suicide. Rich people buy stocks that pay dividends, businesses that generate cash flow, real estate that appreciates, intellectual property that pays royalties, things that make money while they sleep. And here's the key. They buy these first. Before the fancy car, before the big house. Ask yourself right now, what do you own that puts money in your pocket every single month? If the answer is nothing, you don't own assets. You own stuff. And stuff keeps you poor. Assets make you rich. The formula is brutally simple. Increase assets, decrease liabilities. Every financial decision you make should pass this test. Does this put money in my pocket or take money out? If it takes money out, think twice. If it puts money in, move fast. Poor people work hard to buy more liabilities, a bigger house, a newer car, designer clothes. They think these things prove success, but rich people know these things prove nothing except that you're good at spending. Real wealth isn't what you show, it's what you own that works for you. Here's what wealthy people do. They take their income and immediately buy assets. Those assets generate more income. They use that income to buy more assets, and the cycle continues. Their wealth compounds. Their money multiplies. All because they understand one simple rule: buy things that make money. The broke person gets a raise and upgrades their lifestyle. Bigger apartment, fancier car, more expensive restaurants. Their expenses rise with their income. they stay broke at a higher income level. The wealthy person gets a raise and buys another asset. Their lifestyle stays the same, but their wealth grows exponentially. Think about every purchase you've made in the last year. How many were assets? How many were liabilities? Be honest. Because your bank account is the scoreboard, and if you're losing the game, it's because you're buying the wrong things. Your goal from today forward: buy at least one asset before you buy another liability. Save up. Invest in something that pays you back. A dividend stock, a small rental, an online business, anything that generates income. Build your asset column first. Remember this, my friend. Rich people buy luxuries last. Poor people buy luxuries first. One delays gratification and builds wealth. The other seeks instant pleasure and builds debt. Which one are you? And more importantly, which one will you become? The path to wealth is paved with assets. Not opinions, not intentions, not dreams. Assets. Real things that generate real cash flow. Start building your asset column today, because that's how the rich get richer, and that's how you'll join them. The discipline of delayed gratification. My friend, let me tell you about the marshmallow test. Scientists put children in a room, gave them one marshmallow, told them, "You can eat this now or wait 15 minutes and get two." Some kids ate it immediately, others waited. And here's what's fascinating. They followed these kids for decades. The children who waited, they became more successful, better careers, higher income, healthier relationships. The ones who couldn't wait, they struggled. The lesson? Your ability to delay gratification determines your financial destiny. Poor people want everything now. New phone, new clothes, instant pleasure. They see something, they buy it. Credit cards make it worse. They get the item today and pay for it for years, with interest. That's the broke person's trap. Instant gratification, permanent debt. Rich people play the long game. They say no to small pleasures today so they can say yes to massive wealth tomorrow. They don't need the newest car. They drive a used one and invest the difference. They don't need designer clothes. They wear simple and build their investment portfolio. Think about it like this. You have $1,000. Option 1, buy a new TV. Enjoy it today. Have nothing tomorrow. Option 2, invest it. Let it grow. In 10 years, that 1,000 becomes 5,000, then 10,000, then more. Which choice builds wealth? The broke person says, "I deserve to enjoy my money now. Life is short." The wealthy person says, "I deserve financial freedom. I'll sacrifice now to live like royalty later." Both are right, but only one builds wealth. Only one escapes the paycheck-to-paycheck trap. Here's the harsh truth. Every dollar you spend on instant gratification is a dollar that can't work for you, can't multiply, can't compound. You traded future wealth for present pleasure, and that trade keeps you broke forever. Delayed gratification doesn't mean never enjoying life. It means prioritizing what matters most. It means saying, "I'll buy luxuries with my passive income, not my active income." First build the machine that prints money, then use that money for pleasure, not the other way around. Let me show you the math. Person A spends $5 on coffee every day. 50 years, that's over $90,000, just coffee. Person B makes coffee at home, invests that $5 daily. 50 years with compound interest, over $600,000. Same money, different choice, different life. The wealthy understand compound interest. Einstein called it the eighth wonder of the world. Money making money. Then that money making more money. But compound interest needs time, and if you spend everything today, you never give it time to work its magic. Discipline is choosing what you want most over what you want now. You want wealth most. But you want that new gadget now. Which wins? For poor people, now always wins. For rich people, most always wins. That's the difference. Here's your practice. Before any purchase, ask yourself, is this an investment in my future or a theft from it? If it doesn't build wealth, reconsider. If it pulls you away from freedom, say no. Your future self will thank you. Poor people live for weekends. Rich people build a life they don't need to escape from. One requires constant rewards to tolerate their life. The other delayed pleasure long enough to create a life of permanent pleasure. Which path are you on? Remember this, my friend. The pain of discipline weighs ounces. The pain of regret weighs tons. Discipline yourself now. Delay gratification today. Invest in assets instead of liabilities. And in 10 years, 20 years, you'll be living the life poor people only dream about. The rich get richer because they're willing to be uncomfortable today for freedom tomorrow. The poor stay poor because they choose comfort today and struggle tomorrow. It's always a choice, your choice, and that choice is happening right now. Choose wisely. Chapter 6. Multiple Income Streams. The Millionaire Blueprint. My friend, here's a terrifying statistic. The average millionaire has 7 income streams. 7 different ways money flows to them. Now ask yourself, how many do you have? 1? Your job? Then you're 1 layoff away from disaster. That's not security, that's a ticking time bomb. Poor people rely on 1 income source, their job. All their eggs in 1 basket, and they pray that basket doesn't break. But it always does eventually. The company downsizes, the economy crashes, technology replaces them, and suddenly they have 0 income, 0 options, 0 time to recover. Rich people build multiple streams deliberately. 1 stream from their business, another from real estate, dividends from stocks, royalties from intellectual property, interest from investments, consulting fees, digital products. Each stream is independent. If one dries up, 6 others keep flowing. Think about it like this. You're building a table. 1 leg, unstable. 4 legs, solid. 7 legs, unshakable. Each income stream is a leg supporting your financial table. The more legs, the more stable your wealth, the safer your future. But I barely have time for 1 income, you say. Listen closely. That's broke thinking. You don't need more time, you need better systems. The wealthy don't trade time for every dollar. They build systems once that pay them repeatedly. That's leverage. That's freedom. Let me break down the 7 streams wealthy people build. First, earned income from your job or business. Second, profit from business ownership. Third, interest income from savings and bonds. Fourth, dividend income from stocks. Fifth, rental income from real estate. Sixth, capital gains from investments. Seventh, royalties from intellectual property or digital assets. You don't build all 7 overnight. You start with 1 beyond your job. Maybe you invest in dividend stocks. $500 becomes a small stream. Then you add rental income. Buy 1 small property. Another stream. Then maybe create a digital product. Another stream. 1 by 1, deliberately, patiently. Poor people hear this and feel overwhelmed. I can't do all that. Rich people hear this and feel excited. I'll start with 1. See the difference? 1 sees obstacles. 1 sees opportunity. Your mindset determines whether you'll build wealth or stay stuck. Here's the beautiful part about multiple streams. They compound not just individually, but collectively. Stream 1 grows. That growth funds Stream 2. Streams 1 and 2 fund Stream 3. Soon, your streams are funding each other. Your wealth multiplies exponentially. The broke person works 40 hours a week for 1 paycheck. The wealthy person sets up systems that generate income 24 hours a day from multiple sources. Same hours in a day, completely different approach, completely different results. Ask yourself, what's one additional income stream you could start this month? Not perfect, not huge, just started. Maybe you invest $50 in dividend stocks. Maybe you rent out a spare room. Maybe you sell knowledge you already have. Just one stream beyond your job. Because here's the truth. Your job income has a ceiling. You can only work so many hours. You can only earn so much per hour. But investment income, business income, passive income, those have no ceiling. They can grow infinitely while you sleep. Poor people spend their raises. Rich people invest their raises. One stays trapped at one income stream. One builds multiple streams. And over time, those multiple streams create more income than the job ever could. That's when you achieve real financial freedom. The goal isn't to quit your job tomorrow. The goal is to build income streams that eventually make your job optional. When your passive income exceeds your expenses, you're free. You work because you want to, not because you have to. That's the ultimate goal. Remember this, my friend. Millionaires don't have 7 income streams because they're millionaires. They're millionaires because they built 7 income streams. The streams came first, the wealth followed. Start building your streams today, one stream at a time. That's how you join the wealthy. Risk versus safety, the paradox poor people miss. My friend, let me tell you about the biggest lie you've ever been told. The lie that a job is safe. That working for someone else is secure. That playing it safe protects you. This lie has kept more people poor than any other belief in history. Poor people think their job is safe. They show up, they work hard, they follow the rules. And they believe that loyalty equals security. But my friend, there's no such thing as job security anymore. Companies downsize, industries disappear, technology replaces humans. Your safe job can vanish overnight. Rich people understand the real risk. The real risk isn't investing. The real risk is depending entirely on one income source you don't control. That's the ultimate gamble. You're betting your entire financial future on your employer's decisions, on the economy, on factors completely outside your control. Think about it. You call investing risky, but you put all your faith in a job that can fire you at any moment. You avoid the stock market because it's too risky, but you trust a company that could eliminate your position tomorrow. Which is really riskier? The poor person says, I can't afford to lose money investing. The wealthy person says, I can't afford to lose time not investing. One fears losing what little they have. The other fears missing the growth that creates wealth. Fear of loss keeps you poor. Fear of missing opportunity makes you rich. Here's the paradox. The safest path is actually the riskiest. Playing it safe means staying dependent, never building assets, never creating passive income, never achieving freedom. You work 40 years hoping nothing goes wrong. That's not safety, that's a prayer. But calculated risk? That's real security. When you invest in assets, you own something. When you build multiple income streams, you control your destiny. When you create value, you become valuable. That's true safety, not dependence, independence. Poor people fear risk because they don't understand it. They think all risk is equal. But the wealthy know there's a difference between stupid risk and calculated risk. Stupid risk is gambling. Calculated risk is educated investing. One is hope, the other is strategy. Let me explain calculated risk. You don't just throw money at anything. You educate yourself first. You learn about investments, you start small, you diversify. You accept that some investments won't work, but overall, your educated risks compound into wealth. That's how it works. The broke person avoids all risk and guarantees poverty. The wealthy person takes educated risks and builds wealth. Same world, same opportunities, different approach, different life. Which approach are you taking right now? Ask yourself honestly, what feels riskier? Investing $500 in a dividend stock or working 40 years hoping you won't get fired? Really think about it. One requires short-term courage. The other requires lifelong faith in someone else's mercy. Here's what I've learned. The people who play it safe end up with the least safety. They retire broke, dependent on Social Security, hoping their kids will help. That's the result of avoiding risk. Meanwhile, those who took calculated risks retire wealthy, free, secure, because they built real assets. The wealthy don't avoid risk, they manage it. They educate themselves to reduce risk. They diversify to spread risk. They start small to limit risk. But they don't avoid it, because they understand that growth requires risk. Safety requires risk. Freedom requires risk. Poor people want guaranteed returns with zero risk. That doesn't exist. Rich people want educated investments with managed risk. That's reality. One wants fantasy, the other deals with truth. And truth creates wealth. Here's your shift. Stop seeing investing as risky and jobs as safe. Start seeing jobs as risky and investments as safe. Because that's the reality. A job depends on one source. Investments create multiple sources. Which is actually safer? My friend, the biggest risk you can take is taking no risk at all. Playing it safe guarantees you'll stay exactly where you are. And if you're reading this, where you are isn't where you want to be. So take the risk, educate yourself, start small. Build your wealth one calculated risk at a time. Remember this, safe people stay poor. Risk takers become wealthy. Not reckless risk takers, educated risk takers. Those who study, learn, and act despite fear. That's courage. That's wisdom. That's how you master money and join the rich. Your path to money mastery starts now. My friend, we've covered a lot. The lies you were taught. The difference between working for money and making money work. Scarcity versus abundance. Assets versus liabilities. Delayed gratification. Multiple income streams. And the truth about risk. Now it's time to bring it all together. Here's what separates the wealthy from everyone else. Action. You can know everything about money and still stay broke if you don't act. Knowledge without action is just entertainment. The rich don't just learn. They implement, they move, they build. Starting today, that's you. Your first 90 days start now. Week 1, track every dollar. Know where your money goes. Week 2, cut one unnecessary expense. Redirect that money to investments. Week 3, open an investment account. Start with whatever you have, even $50. Week 4, learn about one investment vehicle. Stocks, real estate, or business. Pick one and study it. Month 2. Make your first investment. Something small, something real. Feel the shift from consumer to investor. Month 3. Start building your second income stream. A side business, freelancing, rental income, anything beyond your job. These 90 days will change your financial trajectory forever. But knowledge and action aren't enough without the right mindset. Every morning, remind yourself, I am building wealth. Money flows to me. I create value. I am becoming financially free. Speak it until you believe it. Believe it until you live it. Your words shape your reality. Remember the core principles. Poor people work for money. You make money work for you. Poor people buy liabilities. You buy assets. Poor people fear risk. You take calculated risks. Poor people have one income stream. You build multiple streams. These aren't just concepts. These are your new operating system. The wealthy got wealthy by thinking differently and acting consistently. Not by getting lucky, not by winning the lottery, by making better decisions every single day for years. That's your path too. Small decisions, daily discipline, compound results. Here's the truth. 5 years from now, you'll be somewhere. The question is where. If you do nothing, you'll be exactly where you are now, maybe worse. But if you apply what you learned today, you'll be free, wealthy, living on your terms. The choice is yours. My friend, if you found value in this, subscribe and turn on notifications. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. Drop a comment below. What's one money action you're taking today? I read every comment. We're building a community of people who refuse to stay broke. Join us. You're not like most people. Most people heard this and will do nothing. But you're different. You're ready. You're committed to money mastery. The rich don't stay rich by accident. They master money. And now, so will you. This is your time. This is your moment. Welcome to financial freedom, my friend.